Okay, hello family and friends. Welcome back. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Let's go straight back in, shall we? So, when two worlds collide. Let's just start this off with the opening comment. So, the social media ban, and you see how Britain is dithering, absolutely dithering. It reveals, it's so revealing because you can tell who the New World Order countries are, who the usual suspects, the main people who are driving this thing, the main states, the main countries, because they're scared to do it. As I said before, Brexit was all about handing Britain over to the dictation of America, basically. That's what it was all about with Boris and everything. You see how things changed, copy paste all over the place. Everything's the same. So it's hard for Britain to do this social media ban because of all the American big tech companies, especially as even TikTok is now owned by an American billionaire. I've heard all the arguments and they're just weak. They're so weak. I don't want to go into it too much, but let's just keep it simple. Social media is like a mansion with all the parents outside in the courtyard having a drink and a chat, and all the kids are inside the mansion. Now inside that mansion there are good people, there are different rooms. There are bad people in rooms. There are rooms with bad people and there are rooms with good people. And even in some of the rooms it's mixed with good and bad people. Now, if you knew this, you wouldn't let your kids just go and play in there. You would want to know which are the bad rooms. In fact, you would just keep an eye on your children. You wouldn't let them just go in there alone. Simple as that. That's basically what it is. You would be in the mansion with them. So, it's that simple. What I think people are struggling with is their 14-year-olds throwing a tantrum. It's too late for your 14-year-old. Think about your 8-year-old. Because I've heard the arguments. People say, "Oh, well, in Australia, they're already finding ways to get around it and blah 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 blah." Like I said, it's too late for your 14-year-old, and even so, not every kid knows about VPNs. Like, give parents a chance, give the children a chance. And it's about the eight-year-old still watching cartoons and playing games on social media. It's not still playing games and watching cartoons on their tablet and their smartphones. They're not in the world of social media yet. They might be on YouTube Kids or something. They have a whole world of social media madness ahead of them. What's the harm? And they should make it 17 years old. So when kids are in school, there's not this conflict between some kids in school are 16 already and then some kids are 15. You know? Because it's not just about in school either. If you haven't been on social media all day during school between 9 and 3, it means you've got a whole load of catching up to do. This is how it is when you're kids. You have to help the parents. It's not about the 14-year-olds. It's about the 8-year-olds. Give them a chance. And it's not as if an 8-year-old's going to start downloading VPNs and start coding to get around tracking, building a Faraday cage. Crikey. The arguments are just so weak. And what the most shocking thing is, is you've got all these women, mothers, leading the charge, begging, asking, fighting. Where are the fathers? Silent. Silent, silent, silent. You've got guys who have lost their daughters from social media madness, doing these challenges, and from bullying and self-harm and all this stuff. This guy has been, he was the forefront. I've seen this guy on the news over the years complaining about social media. As soon as there's a ban in Australia, everyone's talking about maybe doing this ban. And then he's coming out saying, oh, I don't think the ban, we should have a total ban. So this was 9 years ago he lost his daughter. So he's been complaining and asking for regulation for 9 years. And he's still coming out against all these mothers, saying there shouldn't be a ban. It's just shocking. It's shocking. 9 years. 9 years. Unbelievable. You know, I should drop a video just showing that it's a lot more. People don't understand Google and all these big tech companies, what it's actually for, what it's actually doing. That's why they don't want to ban it, because it's leading your kids in directions. There's men out there who want your daughters already sexualized by the time they get to 16. I should drop a video showing you the truth about targeted harassment and subliminal messaging. But, you know, I should drop it because these people know who you are. You've heard me talk about this for the machine knowing who you are. They know exactly what to target you with. And I just don't understand how people are dithering. It's the millions and billions from American big tech. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. What happened to the children? The children. Think of the children. Everybody likes to use children as a pawn for guilt tripping. Now comes the time where you can actually think of the children. Dithering. They don't want to do it. It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. It's cowardice. And it just proves to show that people aren't as sovereign as they say they are, and governments are in control, and like I said, kings of the earth. So we left off at the end of Matthew 3, so Matthew 4, when two worlds collide. For us believers, we have to understand the spitefulness which is coming. You really have to understand this. So let's go. So Yeshua has just been baptized. Then Yeshua was led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward a-hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command these stones to be made bread. Show me a miracle. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Do you see the spitefulness? It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt the Most High. Why should I perform this miracle? Why should I do? Why would you want God to work a wonder just to prove to a scoffer, to an enemy of the Most High, to win an argument? And that's not going to happen. Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceedingly high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them. And saith unto them, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Us as believers, we know this is how the world works. This is how the world works. You can't be a believer and not understand this. And that's very tempting for mankind. All things I will give thee, if you will only just bow down to me. Do you understand what's happening here? Show me a miracle. Your God will save you. Bow down to me. Let's see if your God will save you. Bow down to me. Always think of these last days coming. The things I'm showing you here. Always think. Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Most High, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. Now when Yeshua had heard that John was cast into prison, he departed unto Galilee. And leaving Nazareth, he came and dwelt in Capernaum, which is upon the sea coast, in the borders of Zebulun and Naphtali, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, The land Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, by the way of the sea, beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. See what I mean about the infiltration, the replacement, the Greeks coming in and taking over and taking dominion. Galilee of the Gentiles, of the peoples who are not of Yasharel. It was already well underway. Well underway. We had no king. There will be no king unto thee. Hosea 4. All this time. Why? Because we kept. Right? You need to read Maccabees, and then you read Maccabees, and you read the Jewish War, about 70 A.D. You read the book of Daniel. There you are. Greater understanding. The people which sat in darkness saw great light, and to them which sat in the region and shadow of death, light is sprung up. From that time Yeshua began to preach and to say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And Yeshua, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brethren, Simon and Peter. Simon called Peter, and Andrew his brother, casting a net into the sea, and they were fishers. And he said unto them, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. And they straightway left their nets and followed him. And going on from thence, he saw other two brethren, James the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, in a ship with Zebedee their father, mending their nets, and he called them, and they immediately left the ship and their father and followed him. They're dropping everything, nothing else matters. Because of what just happened. You see, in the other, it goes into great detail of what happens. Matthew has skipped over that. But the others, we all know what happened with the fish. And depart from me, I'm not worthy. And going on thence, he saw other two brethren, and immediately they followed him. And Jesus went about all Galilee, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing all manner of sickness and all manner of diseases among the people. And his fame went throughout all Syria. And they brought unto him all sick people that were taken with diverse diseases and torments, and those which were possessed with devils, and those which were lunatic, and those that had the palsy, and he healed them. And there followed him great multitudes of people from Galilee, and from Decapolis, and from Jerusalem, and from Judea, and from beyond Jordan. As we move on, this thing's going to get hot. Like I said, this is a wild ride. And his fame went throughout all Syria. I don't pay attention to locations and names anymore, because we've seen over time the lies of history. And you just keep it simple and say, look, 40 years in the wilderness, walking around, to end up next door. And then you got to ask, the teeniest, tiniest place on earth is the kingdom which God is going to put his people. I don't concentrate on locations and names anymore when I understand how easy it is to change history, how deep and how long lies go on for. I can't. And when you're reading these things in all these books, that's for later, okay? What we're focusing on here is the clear instruction. Do not miss your opportunity. These things are set up for us as traps and snares in the future. I'm gonna get to that when this thing gets hot. When we get to the late teens, like I said, it's gonna start going up like a roller coaster, And then the descend and the twists and turns. You're going to need to really pay attention. And there followed him great multitudes of people from Galilee, Decapolis, Jerusalem, Judea, and from beyond the Jordan. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Excuse me. Amplified version. Happy to be envied and spiritually prosperous, with life, joy and satisfaction in God's favour and salvation, regardless of their outward conditions, are the poor in spirit, the humble, who rate themselves insignificant, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. That's a lot of people out there. But a lot of people don't know that God has got their back. They're too busy scoffing and mocking, and they don't understand the story. They don't know backstory, and they're just rejecting. And the world beats them and grinds them down. These people who are poor in spirit, humble, who rate themselves insignificant. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Who mourns? There are many different reasons to mourn. Some people think about the wives who are in their 70s and 80s. They lost their husband like 20 years ago, and they mourn. And they were good, God-fearing folks. And she can't wait to see her husband again. People who have lost children. People who mourn for the life we live, for how this world is. When it's all said and done, comfort. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. The meek. They don't cause no people no problems. They're a bit shy. They're obedient. These are the people you look after, you take care of. These people can be taken advantage of. So the more confident people should look after and have an eye out for them. Speak up for them. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. I need to explain that. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see the Most High. Pure in heart. If God says there are people out there like that, I'm not going to argue. But as far as I know, we all strive to be like that. You know, we're looking for clean hearts now. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Peacemakers, eh? Can you really say you're a peacemaker if you're a big bully and everyone's scared to challenge you, scared to fight back? It's not peacemaker, it's kind of subjection and oppression. Who are the real peacemakers? Is it those who know they are strong, but they're lenient, they're reluctant to fight? Those who prefer to sit down? Those who think, you know what, this is nonsense, I'm not fighting for the nonsense. The conscientious objector. I'm not picking up no weapon to fight some stupid war. I don't even know what I'm fighting, but I will gladly fight a righteous fight. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake, because you're a believer, because you're doing it right. Not everyone gets persecuted. It doesn't mean because you're not getting persecuted, you're not doing it right. But certain people let's say this another way. There's the real Israelites and there's the fake Israelites. So if the real Israelites are coming back to the way, that's what they're going to attack. They don't mind other people coming back to the way because they're not under covenant. They're not under law. But when we start looking for the ways, the paths of our fathers, the good old ways, for redemption, it's a big problem for people. It's a big problem. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. I suggest you write, when these scriptures come up, I suggest you write them down and you look at them every month, because like I said a couple months back, I forgot these things. It's easy. It's not easy to live like this. So it's easy to forget. It's very easy to forget. At the end of the day, you're human. You've got feelings. It's frustrating. And you just wish people would leave you alone. You just wish people would leave you alone. At the end of the day, this is what I'm talking about. The spitefulness. You have to anticipate it. It's coming. It's coming. Look, when Yeshua was on the cross and the thieves mocked him. Oh, if you're the Son of God, then save yourselves and us. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? But the third one said, no. We deserve this. He doesn't. All he has done is preach. He hasn't killed no one. He hasn't stolen nothing. He's committed no crimes. We deserve this. He doesn't. And then he asked to be saved. Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost its flavour, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out, to be trodden down under the foot of men. So salt. How do we do with salt? Salt, you taste something, it's like, this has got no flavour. You sprinkle salt on it. Yeah, it's good. That's better. You tuck in. Tastes much better. This coincides with also the new wine. All these years, decades, people have fallen away from the faith. Why? It's wooden. It's boring. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people. That's why the new wine, just like back in the times of Yeshua and the disciples, people didn't like the update of how Yeshua was breaking it down and making it simple and telling them, look, you can do all these things of the law, like, but you're still wicked and you're still bowing down to other gods and idols and stuff. You can't do both. So in this day and age, what we as Israelites do, we go backstory to make sure people understand. Like I said, people are numb to this. They've heard it all through their lives. There've been people handing out tracts and saying, oh, do you know that Jesus loves you and he's the savior of the world, and so on and so on. People are numb to it. You grab people's attention when you're showing them things that you've never heard before. How many of you guys have been going to church for 10 years or more, and you're now wondering, how comes I haven't been shown all these things by my priest, by my pastor? First of all, you might have been listening to us to debunk us, to scoff, but then you sat down with the book and you're actually thinking, yeah, it does say that. Yeah, it actually is really talking about the last days. And you're reading things that you never even thought to read before. The new wine. And now you're thinking, we've been feeding the shepherd. The shepherd has not necessarily been feeding the sheep. It has flavor. It has meaning. It has punch to it. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt has lost its... Oh, testimony as well. Come on, testimony is so important. You know, some people, I think I said this before, some people are young, they're like 20, and they're still on milk. They're still like reading little bits of the Bible, which they understand, they're trying, but you can see it in their eyes. You can hear it in their voice. You can see it in their whole countenance that they have their own testimony, their own journey, and you cannot dispute that or take that away from them. You cannot. So you just leave them to it, you know? You leave them to it, because it's their testimony which is more powerful than their works or their preaching or their understanding. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its flavour, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and trodden down under the foot of men. And haven't so many people done that? If you've tried preaching on the streets and talking to people about the gospel, you will understand this. Cast out and trodden underfoot. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. I remember all the people before me who were doing this walk, even if they were Muslims. I just seen and felt something different with these people. At the time I had no interest, but I never mocked or nothing, because, you know, train a child up in the way. But there was just something. They had a kind of determination, direction, shall I say. Ye are the light of the world, a city that is set on a hill that cannot be hid. Understand this. When this last days start unfolding, neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Good works, obvious, but just doing the right thing and refusing to do some things. Being a changed man or woman can be more powerful than good works, like obvious good works like feeding the poor and going to hospitals and stuff like that. Because even unbelievers do these things. Being a totally changed man or woman from who you was before, that is startling and it's powerful. A lot of people can't handle it. So let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Okay, just past halfway mark. I should speed up. Matthew 5:16. Let's go to John 3:17 to 21. Let your light shine before men, so that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. John 3:17 to 21. For God has not sent his Son unto the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. Excuse me, sorry. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is already condemned. Remember who he's talking to. He's talking to Israelites. What should they know? They should already know. What have they been brought up on? They go to synagogue every Friday, Saturday. So if you believe not in Christ, then you do not believe the word of God. And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men loved darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. When two worlds collide. For every one that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. Everything is done in secret, mutually assured destruction, infiltration of the media, everybody paid up. He that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in the Most High. You squash everything and you just confess your sins. If you have unspeakable sins, that's a lot harder to do. That's how they get you. After these things came Yeshua and his disciples unto the land of Judea, and there he tarried with them and baptized. And John also was baptized in Aenon near Salim, because there was much water there, and they came and were baptized, for John was not yet cast into prison. You see that? Sorry, I kept reading. You see how I matched that to Matthew 5 and 16. Let your light shine before men, that they will see your good works. To confession and believing in Yeshua, and the difference between let your light and come into the world, and the men love darkness. Their deeds were evil. And then it flows on to that where I just read to you how John baptized, for he was not yet cast into prison. And where did I leave off in John 5? For him, he had that, and John was cast into prison and into Galilee. Whatever. Okay, I can't find it. But you heard. So, you see, this is why I have to be careful, because later on, we're going to do a lot of that, and I'm going to have to really focus as not to get myself confused up and a bit mixed up. But that's the beauty of technology. We have the video, you can stop, you can pause, you can remember the verses, matching it to Matthew 5 and 16, John 3, 17 to 21. Okay, sorry, let's get back on track. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. We get this now, especially if you've been listening to me, if you've been listening to other Israelites, you know what the church did with this. The law is done away with, blah, 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 blah. The law is not done away with. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy it, but to fulfill. The prophets, they prophesied about his coming. He's here now. Fulfill. Think not that I am come to destroy the law. Let's keep reading at 18. For verily I say to you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Fulfillment, till all be fulfilled. He's talking about that generation, that time. Especially when you're reading Matthew 24, you have to realize that he's talking different generations. And it just marvels me how I think he's done it on purpose. Because, what did I say? 2,000 years. It's for us. We have all the wealth of knowledge, the history. We're reading now. The end times are coming. We're focused. Oh, we'll get to that, man. Oh, man. It's hot. It's hot. So, Matthew 5 and 17. Think not I have come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For greater understanding, read Acts 21 to 24. I am not come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say to you, not one jot nor one tittle till will pass from the law till all fulfilled. Till all fulfilled. What he came to talk about, this is the end. He was warning everybody. Not one stone left on top of the other. Fulfilled after that. Because that's it. It's the end. No more temple. You're scattered among the nations. No more Levites. Nothing. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, key words here. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments shall be called least in the kingdom. Remember yesterday I spoke about sins, your own personal sins. Sins that may hurt other people, betraying a friend, betraying a lover, stealing. And then there's sins, major sins, ruining lives with a stroke of a pen, lying to the people, sins that hurt the people, the nation. There's a major difference. Whosoever shall break one of these least commandments shall teach men and shall teach them, so shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. What does it say later on in this about least in the kingdom of heaven? You're greater than John. And obviously they're talking about John in his current state right now, not John's position in the kingdom. What was John doing in the wilderness? Camel's hair. He wasn't wearing fine tunics and stuff. Eat the bugs. Okay, I'm running out of time here, man. I've gone on far too long. For I say unto you, except that righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees, you shall in no case enter the kingdom of heaven. Now that's quite a statement right there. Why? These guys were caught up in lies. They were scoundrels, basically. Ill-gotten gains, greasy palms, corruption. They were ambitious. They were seriously wealthy. You know? You have to understand why he was furious with these guys. You have heard that it was said by them of old time, that thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of judgment. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without cause shall be in danger of judgment. And whosoever shall say unto his brother, Laka, shall be in danger of a council. But whosoever shall say, Thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. What have we been doing all these years, family? We've been at each other's throats, had an evil eye to our brother. The conditions we were under for those centuries, for all that time, exacerbated that. Even in your own kingdom, and you're prospering, there's plenty of food to eat, and you're in safety, it's the corruption and the ill-gotten gains, everyone jostling for position. But when things start to come to an end, when scarcity sets in, and desperation, that's when things go out of control. So he's talking about disputes, basically. And these Pharisees, they never done none of this. You know these stories. They were saying, "Oh, you're right, you have answered well, teacher." But they never apologized. They never brought a gift to the altar for him. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother have out against thee, leave there thy gift by the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. That's in law. And do you see the world we live in today? Like this, if everyone's not on the same page, this is quite impossible when two worlds collide. Agree with thine adversary quick whilst thou art in the way with him, lest any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou cast thee into prison. The key word here is travelling. Thou art in the way with him. Travelling with him. So you're in a different town, maybe in a different country. By two witnesses is a thing proven. Guilty. You know, false witnesses and stuff like that. If it's just you and him and you're disputing on the way, and he says something about you in another town, the guards have to arrest you. And basically. So settle your quarrels on the road, because you're away from home. You can't have your friends help you. Witnesses around. There's no witnesses around. Verily I say unto thee, thou shalt by no means come out thence till thou hast paid your way out. You have paid the uttermost farthing. You're going to have to pay your way out of prison after that, basically. You have heard that it was said by them of old time that thou shalt not commit adultery. Now this is important. We went over this already. But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her have committed adultery with her already in his heart. Now a lot of people, we spoke about this already. There's a difference between seeing and noticing and looking again, looking and staring and perving. There's a major difference. But a lot of people say that, and I kind of agree with this, that this has been changed. You have to understand the time of these translations, how the men were at that time, and the popes. You see, the popes were trying to emulate Paul and Christ himself. Well, they wanted to be seen that way. So they had they didn't have very high opinions of women, basically. Misogynists. And they thought women were sinful. Women are sinful. Because obviously Paul spoke about being single. It's better to marry than to burn. And obviously us guys today, we have many reasons. I don't even need to go into that, right? We want to get it right, basically. Also, how can you commit adultery if you're single and she's single? You can't commit adultery. Adultery is adultery. So I think this has been changed as well. But I say unto you that he that looketh on a woman with lust after her have committed adultery with her already in his heart. You see all throughout this book, you know, dudes are admiring women's beauty. You read Samson, like about Samson. David, and that's where I'm talking about there's a difference between noticing and looking and looking again, and staring. You get it by now. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee, for it is profitable thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that the whole body should be cast into hell. It hath been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. You see how it kind of comes together. Adultery, it starts with 27, and then it comes back to women, and in the in-between you can kind of use your imagination. But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, she cheated, causeth her to commit adultery, and whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committeth adultery. If she hasn't cheated, she's still your wife. Once you lay with a woman, you are one flesh. She is your wife. It's the walking away. I explained this before. This is why you need to consummate a marriage. You can have the ceremony all you like, but if you haven't consummated, it's not done. You're not one flesh yet. When two worlds collide. Can you really follow this in this world today, in the West? Again, ye have heard that it have been said by them of old time, that thou shalt not forswear thyself, but thou shalt perform unto the Most High thy oaths. Now, obviously, don't go running around making any stupid oaths. But when you read in the past, people have made oaths and it has pleased the Most High. You know? You have to read about the times. You see again and again, over and over. And what has Yeshua come to do? He's come to tell them, he's come to simplify things. He's come to update. So he's basically come and said, you know what? Stop it. Just stop making oaths because you're not keeping them. Just stop it. Just stop it. But if you've made an oath and you can keep it, keep it. If your oath is difficult to keep, honor, duty, purpose. Something, you've got to be fixed on something. You have to be. You have to understand. Your testimony, your journey should help you. You see, I talk so boldly and so confidently, yeah, about certain things. Because people say, oh, you shouldn't be so personal. Don't let people do this, don't let people do that. Through being very personal and open and talking about things from the heart, I have noticed some things. It's helped me to be able to talk so confidently and so boldly. Let me give you an example. Let people know what you hate and watch it happen all the time. Let people know what you want and they will dangle it in front of you to make you conform. And that's why I can talk so confidently and so boldly about these New World Order people who walk among us. They know exactly what's going on. and they know exactly what's to come. You see, there's a point in this book of Revelations where I'm seeing that people are going to disappear and reappear. And that's why I say the godless versus the God-fearing. Because they're going to want to outnumber us. And many people are going to die. This is why we give our lives now, because you never know when you're going to die. Now, and when this thing starts unfolding and there's chaos and war and famine in the world. I hope you're noticing these things in the book of Revelation while you're combing over it, where the famine is. And we'll get there. So I'm gonna have to cut this right here. I plan to read one more chapter, but I've been on a rant. Sorry, I get carried away. Yeah, and I'm telling you, you're gonna be shocked. You're gonna be shocked. And there's one other major factor. And I explained that in my last post on my community page, and I explained that yesterday. It was not the kings, the presidents, the rulers who committed the atrocities. It was the people. It was people. Fear, despair, scarcity. We're already very close in a world where we are in moving. It's getting worse and worse. People, the love of many is waxing cold. You've got more comfortable, wealthy people looking down on us and pointing us and scrutinizing us, when we're looking more to the rich. It's all done through the media. I'm telling you, you got Kimmy Badenoch talking about living within your means, and they're going to reverse the two-child. You got Reform talking about reversing the two-child benefits cap, but yet there's a declining birth rates. It's bonkers. So once they virtue signal, but when you see the truth, you see the truth. So how can Reform talk about worrying about a declining birth rate, but talking about reversing the two-child benefit cap? When you understand, when you know what they really mean. And when you understand the New World Order and the world is run by the rich, and they have no plans for us but war. It doesn't matter what colour you are, as long as you're working class. They have no plans for us but war. Haven't you realised this yet? No plans for us but war. That's the whole point of making us useless, making us have no jobs, making us in the cost of living crisis, building no homes, not even telling us where the future jobs are coming from. Bro. Those of you who see it coming, you know there's no guarantees. So, and you know the wickedness to come. You understand how these people are feeling. Like I said many times, a year ago in those other videos, aliens, pandemics, climate change, and screaming from the rooftops. All these little problems go away if they kill billions of people. They don't have to worry about nothing anymore. Climate change, overpopulation, whatever you can think of, it all just goes away. You kill my people, I'll kill yours, and we'll call it war. They'll be none the wiser. They're used to it. But I say unto you, swear not all, neither by heaven, for it is Yah's throne, nor by the earth, for it is footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou cannot make one hair white or black. But let your communication be yea or nay, for whosoever is more than these cometh evil. When you're a believer, people might even want you to swear to God. When you're known as a believer and you want to lie and you want people to believe you, you might say, I swear to God. If you're that desperate for people to believe you, you're trying to get away with something, some wickedness. This is what he's saying. Don't you dare. It's best you just don't. What's the best thing? Somebody doesn't believe you. Do you know what? I don't care. Or you say, you know, I don't care if you don't believe you. I don't need you to believe me. The Most High is my witness. What is it that General said to Morpheus? Not everyone believes what you believe. And Morpheus said, my beliefs do not require them to. It doesn't matter what you... If this thing plays out, is it going to matter whether you believed? Oh yes, it is. That's why you just let it all fall away. But I say unto you, swear not neither by heaven, but let your communication be yea and nay be yea, because whatsoever is more than these cometh evil. If you're trying to get away with stuff and you're known as a believer, and that's evil right there. First of all, people asking you to swear to God, and then second of all, swearing to God because you want people to believe you. If any man will sue thee at the law and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him 2 miles. Give to him that asketh thee, and from him that would borrow of thee, turn not thou away. We're not all the same. Look how the tensions are rising. Immigration, like this been done on purpose. Who did this to us? Who's doing this to us? This has been done on purpose. We're already divided. We're already different people. We already have different beliefs. Ye have heard that it hath been said, thou shalt love thy neighbour and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. At the end of the day, you may have some individuals or groups within your own kingdom, your own land. It's a totally different thing being in the land of your enemies as an ethnic minority from underprivileged backgrounds. That's a whole different thing. And to think about this also, this is what I mean about the spitefulness and the wickedness. And let me come back to that. Let me finish off with that. That ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven, for he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and the unjust. For if you love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans do the same? Amplified version, it says, do not even the Gentiles, the heathen, do that. And ye, if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans do so? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Okay, I've gone on a bit too long. So, two worlds collide. You have heard that ye have said, love thy neighbour and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them that disrespectfully use you and persecute you. What's coming is these people are the spitefulness. You have to anticipate this. When times get hard, especially in this next chapter as well, where it talks about not worrying what to eat, not worrying about what to wear. People love throw the scriptures in your face. But this is the thing. The slaves did this. Our forefathers did this. They loved their masters. Or they were treating them well because they didn't want the cruelty and the punishment. Did that stop it? No. In the next one, it talks about turning a nice cheek. If a slave accidentally hurt his master or hit his master, do you think the master would turn his other cheek? No, that slave would have lost his hand or his life. And all this time, the West was saying they were Christians. This is what I mean about how we both failed miserably and how we were taught to live. So what do you think's coming in the end times? What do you think's coming? How did we start off? Command of these stones to make bread. Jump off this high tower. The angels will come and save you. And then I will give you the whole world if you will just bow down to me. As we go on tomorrow, you have to understand, and this is coming. Why tempt ye, Father? I'm going to come to this. I'm wondering what not to say it now, but basically, what is warned about the end times? The hour of temptation, making things so desperate, so scarce. The hour of temptation. We're going to need to be strong. I'm getting there. We'll get there. Like this word. I forgot. I'm that rusty.